Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, and this is a special episode, my friends. And the next episode will also be special, but in a different way. This particular episode right here actually ties the record for the longest Let's Play series that I have ever done on this channel. This is episode 142. Holy freaking god, this thing is a little bit off center, so I'm going to turn this thing off and turn it back on. It does that every once in a while. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because it's wireless and it'll do it. Now we're good. Okay, that's good. So yeah, we're on episode 142 of this bad boy, and there's so much left to go. That's the crazy part. There is so much more game to be had. We are just, you know... I don't want to say we're just getting started, because that was a long time ago, but we definitely still have some ground to make up. But this, it's a great moment knowing that, you know, I have tied my own record, and so that's really cool. I mean, whenever it is that we get around to Gran Turismo 4, we will shatter whatever, you know, whatever final marker this thing places. But it's cool, man. I'm loving it. I've had a blast playing this game. There's been some highs and some lows and some weirds and some ha-has and some what the fucks, but it has been overall just a wonderful experience playing a game where you get to do things that if it were done in a public setting would absolutely net you very, very large amounts of you know, traffic tickets and probably traffic court. So it's nice to know that we can do this here and not out there. Because I got a story for you. My brother actually had to go to traffic court just a couple of days ago, and because he got nailed for being on his cell phone while he was driving, which is all sorts of bad. I don't know if that's like an actual, I don't know if that's a full-scale law that's implemented in every state. But here in the state of Oregon, man, they are really not tight with you being on your phone. Like, unless you know, it's on a hands-free device, like, you know, if you have, like, Apple CarPlay, or if you're still one of, like, the 58 people in the entire world that actually have Bluetooth headsets. Like, I'm amazed when I see people still walking around with those things, because I feel like a lot of people stopped using them because it totally makes you look like a douchebag. It really does. Like, you just have, like, this total widespread aura of pompous jackass if you have one of those on. I totally used to have one, and every time I'd put it on and be walking somewhere, I'd always have somebody ask me a question, but I'd be on the phone with somebody, and then they'd look at me like, oh, you're one of those people. Well, it's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I had the money to buy one, and I'd rather, you know, be not walking around with the phone shoved in my fucking face, you know, getting all them, you know, God, my brain just stopped working. I think I may have had a stroke just now. No, it's like all of that, like, I want to say like electromagnetic, but maybe like radiation or what, I don't know. It emits comparative levels of radiation. You know what I mean, though? Like, there's all those things that say that it's, you know, it's bad to have, you know, the phone up to your ear for the amount of time that people have it, because, you know, it emits bad shit, and you don't want to have it in your life. But anywho, so my brother went to traffic court. He got nailed for being on his phone while he was driving, and he also got a second ticket for improper usage of a turn signal, thusly not using one at all, in a construction zone. And so he also got the cell phone one in the construction zone, which the fine doubles anyways in a construction zone. So his net penalties were like a little over $1,000, and it's like, oh my god, that is bad. And so he had to go deal with that, and he actually was lucky enough to not to get entirely off the hook, but the judge totally knocked off about $630 off of his total penalties, which is fucking rad, by the way. I mean, that's still crazy that you can get $600 knocked off of of a couple of traffic tickets and still have to pay close to $500. That is wild as shit, man. But yeah, he went in there and, you know, the judge was like, you know, so you did this stuff, you know, how do you plead? And he's like, well, you know, I plead guilty. I mean, I totally did it. And the guy's like, so, you know, what do you have to say for yourself? And he's like, it's an expensive lesson, man. You know, it's just obviously not something that you want to be doing. And so I did it. Now I got to pay the price for it. And the judge was like, kind of sort of blown away by that, because there's always people that are going into traffic court and they always try to find ways to weasel their way out of it, like, you know, this is bullshit. You can't do this to me. Don't you know who I am? Which, like, no, I don't. I've never heard of you before, and I'm probably never gonna hear from you again after this. But, or people that are just like, it's not my fault. I didn't mean to. And he was actually telling me, like, one of the ladies that went up and had to give her a little deal before he did. She was like a young 20-something, and she got nailed for the same thing, or at least for just being on the phone while she was driving. And so, and I'm guessing that it either just the sheer dollar amount of the fine is what got to her, you know, in the head, or it may have been her first time ever getting a ticket for anything. Because the guy's like, all right, so such and such name, you know, how do you plead? And as soon as he said that, she just went and just like totally melted down. I'm talking full scale, ugly as fuck crying. I mean, she was just bawling her eyes out, mascara running down the face, snot bubbles coming out of the nose. I mean, it was bad. And she's just like, I didn't mean to do it. Oh god. And and the judge was totally just gave her just this absolute fucking Ice King. Just that is not a plea. I need guilty, innocent, or no contest, please. And she's just, I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. I don't want it to go on my record. My record's clean. Oh my god. And oh no, you can't be doing that. And it's just like, first of all, don't sit here and act like you didn't mean to do it, because if you hadn't gotten caught, you would have kept on doing it. Anybody that ever gets caught, you know, being on their cell phone saying, I didn't mean to do it, is lying all the way through their dick and out of their balls. I mean, it's going through the front, and it's actually just, with so much force, it's just flying out of the balls. I mean, nobody ever accidentally answers their cell phone. You're like, well, my phone's ringing. Oh my, whoops, my bad. I don't mean to be doing this right now. You know, it's like nobody accidentally does that. It's just, she's just mad because she got caught. And she got a huge ass fine for it, because it's like, seriously, like 500 bones. And so, yeah, it's not good. It is really not good. I actually got nailed with being on my phone once. But it was back before they heightened the stakes, the USDA certified stakes of that law, and so I only got hit for $250, which is still a lot. That's still $250 just for holding your phone while you're driving. That's fucked up, man. That's all bad. But dude, traffic court is crazy. It's just, it is wild to see the types of things that people are doing. Okay, here we go. I gotta kind of, you know, knot this thing up a little bit. I've been driving a little bit suspect, and it's kind of ruined my lead a couple of times. That one spot though, I don't really know what happened. I was driving, and then I just totally slowed down in an area that didn't really call for it. I would really like to get through this turn. Thank you. That'll take care of that. Still was not the best, but we're gonna pass him, so it's all good. Now we have taken our rightful place on the throne of lies, but we do not reek of beef and cheese. Okay, here we go. Yeah, use that slipstream. Fantastic. So yeah, that is rough stuff, man. I feel bad for anybody that has to deal with traffic court stuff like that. At least as long as it was something that, you know, is kind of frivolous like that. Because, like, when you think about this, like, what about, so the law here in Oregon, I don't know if it's different in other places. The law in Oregon, it's like, you can't be, you can't be on your phone unless you have Apple CarPlay or you have like a hands-free device. And for these people, oh no, oh shit. Okay, no, we're all right. We're all right. For apparently, you know, using like headphones that have the little like microphone piece like halfway up, those don't count. And I feel like that's total bullshit. Like how many people? So you're saying, you know, if I want to be able to use my phone while I'm driving, I basically have to have a new enough car. So it's like, oh well, this particular law, you can get around it if you're rich and you have a nice enough car that has it already implemented in, or you just so happen to have, you know, the like $179.99 that, you know, that it costs to get those fucking Jawbone headsets, or at least one that's like adequately not shit. It's like, so you can't just put your phone on speaker and put it in your lap? Like, what about all the people that do that? Like, you're not touching it. And like their reasoning around it is like, well, but you still have to look down at it to be able to hang up. It's like, dude, come on. There are people these days that can type out full long-winded text messages without looking down at it. Like people would really have a problem, you know, driving and having a real widespread struggle to locate where the hang up spot is on their screen. It's like, don't even give me that shit. Not to mention, if you have an iPhone or any phone that was made within the last fucking 10 years, when the other person hangs up on you, the call will end on its own. It's not like a landline where if you just don't hang it up, it just will sit there and, you know, go to the fucking operator or something. Like, it's just, these things are made to hang up on their own when the call is over. So it's not like I feel like the whole having it on speakerphone in your lap thing, like they don't like it, but it's a perfectly viable way to go. Like, I do that crap all the time. You know, if I'm driving, you know, in the Lexus and not the Jetta, because the Jetta has Apple CarPlay in it, so I don't have to worry about it. But the Jetta's older, you know, it was a 2004, or I mean the Lexus is a 2004, so they didn't have that built in just yet on it. Oh, he's going in. We have totally sealed this thing up, as long as I knock on wood, if this is even real wood, provided that we do not spin out somewhere in an area that it does not call for it. There's not really an area that does, but yeah, dude, like I'd answer calls and just put it in my lap and just deal with it that way. Like it seems like it's just stupid. Like it's just another thing that cops can nail their quota with and be like, oh, I fucking got you. So, I don't know. I don't like it. It is not a good deal for me. But, you know, what can you do? Alright, by the way, real quick, and I'm gonna expound on this more in the next episode, but I was watching, and I'm not gonna expound on this further on this actual topic, but something related to it. So, Michaela was watching Home Alone today while I was at work, and we were going back and forth, like throwing Home Alone memes at each other, and she was like, you know what I just noticed? And I can't believe over the like 500 or 600 times that I've watched this movie, I've never thought of this. Think about this. So, in Home Alone, in both Home Alones, the two main ones, because I don't even acknowledge the fact that 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6 by now ever existed, but apparently in the first movie, you know how there's, you know, the doggy door in the kitchen that, you know, Marv pokes his fucking head through, and, you know, Kevin pokes the gun up to shoot, you know, Harry right in the fucking squeeze tube. Have you ever noticed that they don't have any pets in that house? I never thought about this before. They have a dog door. There is no evidence anywhere in that movie that suggests that they have a living dog or a living cat in that household. And I mean, it's during the dead of winter, and so I'm thinking either it's just a weird continuity thing that they threw that in there just for the sake of being able to use those, you know, those pranks or those, you know, those traps as a thing, or there's like some weird, like, deep-seated backstory lore about the fact that, you know, maybe they did have, you know, a couple of, like, a dog or dogs, and, you know, cat or cats, and maybe somewhere during the craziness of the icy cold Chicago winter, that, you know, maybe one of their pets got out into the icy cold night and it just fucking froze to death, and you know, and that's why it's not anywhere to be found. Because I find it weird that at any point during that movie, there's just, you never see a dog running around. It's crazy talk, man. It is wild. So, I don't know. It's a weird thing. You would think that would be something that they would have at least, you know, at one point, maybe like while the family is getting ready to go to the airport, there's a dog that just goes scurrying up and down the stairs. But that would also be an entirely different movie if there was an animal of any kind, because especially if it was a dog, because the dog's going to help protect the house. Then you wouldn't, you know, the dog would just bum rush Harry and Marv, and it wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't have the same slapstick quality of all the traps, because the dog would fucking get into him, or it would totally screw him up, and Kevin would accidentally kill the dog. Like imagine if the dog got in the way when like the fucking blowtorch goes off, or, you know, what if the dog ran down the basement stairs to catch Marv and he ends up stepping on the fucking nail on the flypaper or whatever, or, you know, there's a lot of things that could totally go wrong there. So maybe it was a better thing, because I'm sure PETA would have had an absolute fucking heyday with that. It would have been all bad. But, my friends, we are going to stop right here. When we come back on the record-setting episode of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, we will have more things to talk about, obviously one of which is going to involve Home Alone, because I have something that I need to talk about involving that, and it is not okay with me. So, until then, my friends, this is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for stopping by and watching this record-tying installment of Gran Turismo, and we will have some more fun next time. You guys take care, and I'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.